Okay, so for today, I'm going to show you quickly how to make a GIF. There's probably lots of other tutorials online as well, but I'm just going to break down a GIF that I have made and show you where to start. So first, you're going to open up Photoshop and come up here to Window, and you want to open up right here where it says Timeline, and that will bring you to basically your different actions that are happening. So this is a really simple GIF. If I press play, you can see it's just changing the background. So each of these different slides represents, you can see here, this is, I put it at 0.2 seconds. I can click this little corner here and I can change the amount of time. So it could be really short as 0.1 second, or it could last any amount of time. So you could do 10 seconds or other and put in a specific amount. But for animation, usually it goes pretty quickly. So each slide correlates with the layers that are here on the right. So if you look here, I have some layers that you can see and some that you cannot. But then on the next slide, I switch which layers are that you are able to see and which you cannot. And that is what gives the appearance of movement. So let's say if I take away, the actual character, what's really moving is these white lines, or just I'm changing what is able to be seen and what isn't. So in a lot of ways, it is very simple to create movement. It can be a little bit difficult to wrap your head around. Something else you can do. So some things to pay attention to are, so let's say I wanted to make another little slide here. Then I would just click here. Oh, frame. That is the technical term. The frame. So if I want a new frame, I will click here and make a new one. It does duplicate whichever one that I was previously on. So 6 and 7 are now the same. So if I want 6 and 7 to be different, then I need to just come over here and select the layers I want to see. Something else you could do is, if you see this button here, Tweens animation frames, what this does is it basically creates a fade. So let's say I want to make it look like her eyes are closing. I'm going to create a new layer. And this is something to be careful about, because sometimes if you create a new layer, it becomes applied to all of the frames. So you might have to go in and make sure that that did not happen. Okay, so let's say, and this is, not the most amazing animation, but I'm just going to show you what this can do. So I'm going to try to make it look like she's closing her eyes. I'm not sure if this is the best way to do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, okay, see, so I need to go back to all my other frames. So you can select all of them, and I'm going to take that off. But if I come here, it is now only on this slide that I have those shapes. So what I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this slide, and I'm going to turn this off. So what I want to do is I want to do kind of a fade between this slide and this slide. So what I can do is then click on this Tweens animation button, and you can choose how many frames to add. So I'll do 5. So it should, yeah, create a fade where the character kind of slowly opens their eyes. So let's see. Yeah. So you can see it just kind of like shows a faint transition between these. And it could also show, yeah, a certain movement. Let's say if you have an object, let's say, I'm going to show you in another way. I'm going to turn off actually all of these and create a new layer with something super simple. So we're going to have a square. I need to make sure it's viewable. Okay. And you can see that on some of my slides, it is now applied the square. But that doesn't matter for now. I will get rid of those later. So we have the square, and I want to show, I'm going to duplicate this. Let's say I want to show this square moving. So what I will do is on this one, I'll have the square there, and I'll come over here to my second frame and do this. So I have on one frame, square is here, the second it's here, but I want to show the square moving. So this is another place where I could do this between frames button. And now it will show the movement. So it's kind of a fun trick that it can do. So anyways, those are just some kind of basic things, but I want to show you now some things that you need to keep in mind when you're saving it. So you'll want to go through and play your GIF and your little animation and just see that it's doing what you want it to do. Okay. So you have to be careful. If you want to delete your frame, you need to press this trash can and it will delete the frames. And right now I have this set as forever. I think the default is once. So if you play through it, it will just play through the GIF once. But if you want a GIF that is constantly on loop, then you can change it to forever. You could also do it 3 times if you just want it to play through 3 times and then stop. But I think it makes sense for it to just be on forever. So then how you export it. So I believe you go to export and then save for web. And we'll bring this up so you can see here, you can choose, I have it on GIF or GIF. You also want to be careful about the image size. If the image size is too large, it might have a really hard time saving. But this is a good size. Probably something around 2,000 or less is good. If it's more than like 5,000 pixels, it will just be really slow. And if it's too low, like if it's only 100 pixels, that probably won't be good either. So let's do, okay, here we go, save. So I'll just change this to square GIF and it's saving to the desktop. Okay, now if I go to my desktop and look for square, you can see right here it's playing. So if you want to test it out, you can put it into actually, let's see. So you can test it out by just dragging it here. It should just play. Okay, there you go. So if you drag it to a web window, you should be able to see it play there as well. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for our simple gift tutorial. So hopefully that was helpful for you. You can go ahead and try it out. It does not have to be complicated. Something simple like this is fine. But I do just want to show you. So obviously you can do something simple. This was something I made for a comic. This little angry lady. But I also have made like a little advertisement. So this animation here was made for a company, and it actually is just a string of GIFs that I then put into Premiere and put together. So you can see all of these illustrations are fairly simple. Oh, so this is actually just one of the GIFs. The video itself is much longer. It's about 3 or 4 times, but you can see, oh no, it is going. Okay. So yeah, so this is kind of one way that you can utilize illustration and make some simple animations.